Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. Wow, I don't know who was it that had the song of "Here We Go Again," because it just seems like we are watching the world implode, and well, the Katie Joy world implode, and I sort of get the feeling that we've been here before, we've seen this all before, which is a bit scary. Now, I don't know whether all of this is as a result of court or the lawsuit, and I have to say I don't know anything about this case, except there is an obsession with this case. And I think EKC, hello Reese, I think EKC said it has the same vibes as Dre McRae. I mean, we know how that ended, right? However, if we look at it on the positive, Gypsy and Shin and the Derricks are just getting some relief. Hello, Short Order, how are you? So we'll have a look at some of these posts. So I don't know what's happened. I don't know. I mean, our news was all about the LA fires. So I hope anybody in California. I hope the people. Hope if you're in that area that you are keeping safe. And our thoughts are with you and with all the fireys that are fighting the fires. We are in our bushfire season, and we've just had some go through some of our national park in Victoria. So, you know, we're in our prime bushfire season. So understanding what that is like. However, one of the things Australians really don't like is when people that have things complain about losing things. And so they're a little bit, I have noticed there's a little bit of really snarky comments, particularly on social media, about when they go, stars have lost their house, or they were in another house when that house burnt down. And yeah, there's not been a lot of sympathy for some of those comments, but you know, we're very sympathetic for the most part. So let's have what. So you're probably going, I've stayed away from the Katie Joy train wreck. What on earth are you talking about, Joanne? And we'll go have a look at that, because it's just, and she has also gone to Ms Ballz has also Ms Ballz is on fire tonight. She's on fire because, as with everything, this might need to be my this might need to be the thumbnail for tonight's stream. Thank you to Ms Ballz, because this is classic. This is classic Ms Ballz, Detective Paulson. And she titled it, so she's got Paul's. Detective Paulson is on the case. No public record will go unpublished. Because apparently, Keyboard Katie is on the case. Because apparently, this latest person that she's talking about had a DUI and had some charges, and the charges were dropped. Seriously. And so now, and then
I would never say that I was actually a Christian.
We pretended to be Christians for about 3 years.
No, I don't
know, a couple years. It was after your mom passed away. Mm-hmm. We were.
So this is hello, Bo. This is again Ms Ballz. She's put together a Katie Joy bingo card.
You guys, we were in a really dark place. It was just like,
I can't get intoxicated at all, because my son needs 24-hour a day, 7-day a week care with his medications, with his needs. And there have been times in the middle of the night that we have had to take him by ambulance to the hospital. So my husband and I, we don't use any drugs. Did I, at one point in my life, smoke pot? Yeah, I did. Have I tried a lot of drugs in my life? Mm-hmm.
It's like watching people no longer watch and click on my videos when I'm working so hard. Make you think that I did something that I didn't do and blow something up that didn't happen. I drink far less than I've ever drank in my entire life now.
Conversion therapy to get over those same-sex thoughts. You gotta stuff them down because God doesn't want you.
Seriously, this bingo card could be submitted as evidence as court because you've got the whole thing of Katie Joy here.
To be gay, and then you gotta choke on them.
What? You gonna choke on what? Oh dear. So again, that's some of Ms Ballz classic stuff. If anyone is of the opinion that Katie Joy is a malignant narcissist, let's take a moment to pray for Vag and the Goblin. Then she says, FBI Steve, there's fraud ongoing. Don't gaslight Katie Joy with alcoholics. And then she talks about that tried so hard was so fake. Yeah, that's right. Then we've got remind me never to get you upset. Keep up the good work. We appreciate you protecting Stephen's legacy. Means a lot. I'm here for you all. My job is to report and uncover the truth. That's her job. Then she's got, let's get sued again, you all. Who's an archival consultants? We are. So she's saying that whatever this is happening here, that she's got exposing 7M and Stop Culting involved in it. So again, we've got, are they a team? So let's have a look at what on earth we're talking about. Oh, that's she shared some information between her and Fancy the other night. So yes, there is a whole pile of stuff that we need to look at. Whoever you're dating, Alison, he'd better not have so much as a DUI from 2007, or WICB will blast you on all forms of public record in an attempt to discredit and humiliate you. How dare Alison show Miranda kindness after KJ made a promise to Kelly and make Miranda leave her entire life behind and be forced to. So we have a bit of a link. Alison Holker promoted Miranda Derrick after a documentary about alleged cult leader Robert Chin came out on Netflix. This is when we knew Alison was bad news. She knew what she was doing, and it was a slap in the face to the victims of the cult. So there you go. Now, this Alison woman is caught up in something. We're about to find out, Bo, because I have no idea, to be honest, how this got. So we've had Gypsy Overload, and then now we've got Shame on You, Alison Holker is promoting a book that is not about her, but rather about her late husband, Stephen's Twitch boss. At the time of Twitch's death, Alison went public, said that there was no warning sign. She gave a televised interview claiming Stephen did not suffer from mental illness and that there were no issues in the marriage. Is this another bed that Katie Joy was in to know that it's incorrect? After his death, Alison forced family and friends to sign NDAs, and she blocked Stephen's family from seeing his kids. She claimed that she wanted to protect her image, protect her children, and protect Stephen's image. However, now Alison wants to paint Stephen in a very different light. She seeks to expose allegations of child SA that she claims Stephen enjoyed as a child. Alison writes that she found out about the abuse in his journals. Most disturbing is that Alison's reaction to allegations is that she felt betrayed. Alison accuses Stephen of an addiction to substances and claims he didn't shower for days or weeks leading to his death. She claims she was blindsided after finding all the It's a new year without a lawyer. New year, new family, right? Hey, without a lawyer, have we got a baby yet? How's Baby Watch going? She claims she was blindsided after finding illegal substances in their closet. Yet she also claims she smoked day and night, which blindsided or she knew. An autopsy indicates Stephen Boss died with no alcohol or drugs in his system. Stephen's friends and family deny Stephen suffered addiction to any substances. They also allege that Stephen and Alison have been dealing with serious marital issues for years. One friend claims that they performed the night of their anniversary, only days before his death. Oh no, a couple having an argument. Sorry, I shouldn't be so cynical. All this being done to smear her late husband, disclose private details about his life that can be proven, and just this child essay that Stephen never disclosed to anyone. So how does anyone know it's true? This is obviously a money grab and shameful betrayal to Stephen Boss and his family. So she just said, how does anyone know that it's true? And then she says, and then says, this is obviously a money grab. But so is Katie saying that she's the one that knows the truth? This is shameless, disgraceful, and dishonourable to Stephen's memory. These are not her stories to tell, but Alison is still using her late husband to gain clout and fame while continuing to mistreat his family. Do not buy. Now, but the thing is, he's written about, I'm not saying, I think it's his story to tell, and he's not here. And if it's in his journal, is she saying, is Katie implying that he's lying? So if there's no baby by lunchtime, there'll be an induction. Wow. Okay. Well, so hopefully you'll give us, we'll have a baby. Hopefully we'll have a baby announcement sometime tomorrow night. Correct? And again, the way that she writes this is not a reporter writing. This is somebody writing to say, I know the truth. I know the truth. I don't know any couple that doesn't have marital problems at some point in time. Or any couple that doesn't have issues at some point in time. No matter how many times Alison Alker changes her story and tries to exploit her husband's death, those of us who know the truth will not forget the real Stephen Boss. For those of us that know the truth, how does Katie know what the truth is? Is she, does she know him? Does she? Does she know him to know what the truth is? And then she says, for those of us who know the truth will not forget the real Stephen Boss. Then she says, in my opinion. So is it truth or is it opinion? In my opinion. This will be the first Joe the Learner Lawyer mod baby. Yes, it will be. Have to train the baby really early on to know how to press the buttons, the right buttons, eh? In my opinion, she says, Stephen was married to a narcissistic sociopath that dimmed and destroyed his light. Even though their marriage appeared perfect on Instagram, Stephen's closest friends and family knew the truth. Why did Stephen not have any of his money in Alison's name? Why did Stephen intentionally keep his assets separate? Stephen's family and friends will tell you that he was not an addict of anything. He simply wanted a different life than the fake one Alison cultivated on Instagram. In my opinion, again, she said, in my opinion, but she's already made the statement that those of us that know the truth, putting herself in there, Stephen's light and legacy is being intentionally dimmed and slandered by Alison so that she can elevate her fame and influence. She appears to be the victim in every instance. an empathetic spouse would not be angry at their spouse for their death after 2 years. Well, how do you know? But Alison is still angry at him, even though she claims he was struggling with mental illness. I know somebody that's still very angry that their partner left them, but they were married for a very long time. And the other thing is, anger is also a part of grief. And there is no timeline as to how long you hit each stage of grief. So I'm not prepared to agree with that. To say, you shouldn't be allowed to grieve. There's no timeline as to how long you can grieve for, or how long you're in each stage of grief for. There's no timeline. So 2 years, possibly. So she's saying an empathetic spouse would not be angry. Alison feels betrayed that he had secrets in his journal that he never disclosed to her. That's not a normal response either. I don't know. What is a normal? I mean, how would you feel if you found your partner's journal that had stuff in there that they'd never confided you in? That would be a little bit hurtful. We all know everything about our family. No one knew my ex was dabbling in CSAM until I busted him and had him arrested and sent to jail. Surprised everyone. Look, honestly, do we all know everything about our family? Yeah, I don't think we do know everything about our families. You're correct there without a lawyer. So she's saying he felt betrayed. I mean, the thing is, I guess if he had opened up, maybe something could have been done. But there's a reason why people don't talk. We have it all the time. We hear it all the time when people take their own life, and the people around them said, if only we knew. If only we knew, we could have helped them. But lots of people have secrets. So she said, yeah, she felt betrayed. The secret. I don't think his wife is explaining what was going to cause Twitch to do what he did will change how anyone feels about him. It has always been obvious he had demons we did not know about. Well, yes, there's obviously, I mean, often there are demons that we don't know about. And it's the people that are left behind are left to deal with those demons. Shipment was the last thing I would suspect. I bet it would have shocked you. So then she says, the view is becoming more and more clear is Stephen was trapped in a marriage with a narcissist, and his death is still clouded in mystery. Okay, so question. Here is this a statement of fact or is this a statement of opinion? The view that is becoming clear is Stephen was trapped in a marriage with a narcissist, and his death is being still clouded in mystery. So is she stating as fact that she's a narcissist? Today we honor and remember his legacy of positivity, his unconditional love and support of his friends and family, and his commitment to entertaining all of us even when he was struggling. We love and miss you, Stephen, she says. And everyone's saying, that's not her story to tell. And then she says he was heavily invested in crypto and at a very volatile time. The blockchain doesn't lie. And Katie says he didn't die broke, not even a little bit broke. She used his money to buy a $5 million home. No, I didn't say he died broke by any means. I just happened to do a deep dive on his wallet. You'll see his IG PFP is the Doodles NFT project. So it's easy to see. I was stunned by his unaliving. So there you go. So she's Alison. So then she says Alison Holker's disgusting confessions while promoting her new book, Slandering Stephen Boss. 1. Alison changed her name to Holker less than 48 hours after Stephen died. Alison took her wedding ring off only 2 months after he died. Alison threw most of his belongings, furniture, and sold their home to get the bad energy off of her. Alison is still angry at Stephen for his death, and she is betrayed. He kept secrets from her. knew Stephen left the home and didn't bother looking for him until more than a day later. Allison's healing journey is to be an inspirational beacon of love and light. And then she's put in brackets, she's delusional. Allison accuses Stephen of drug addiction and claims it wasn't her job to fix his problems. She never tried to get him help, and it's basically his fault he wasn't strong enough. Allison is proud of herself that she's stronger than Stephen because she could get through this without unaliving herself. Allison's new boyfriend is her future and her past love 3 times over. He's the best love she's ever had. Their love transcends the universe, and she's never been in love like this. My question is, if you're happy in your life, moved on so easily and threw away Stephen's things and ring, why not leave him alone? Finally, Stephen's former manager and some of his friends claim Allison is the one with the alleged drug and alcohol addiction, and she's a narcissist, in my opinion. So here's the thing. If you've ever dealt with people that are with grief, sometimes grief does funny things. The wedding ring, some people can't take it off. Some people can. Selling the house, I don't think is a bad thing. I mean, are things being blown out of proportion here? I'm sort of, I'm not defending her. I'm looking at somebody, and as somebody who has seen people with grief and seen people do really weird things. Look, I know somebody that got married 2 months after their wife died. A man got married 2 months after his wife died. There was nothing sinister about it. He just didn't want to be alone. He just could not handle being alone. Does that mean that he doesn't miss his wife? No. Okay, so there's that. So, it says, I don't understand how, if he was such a drug addict, his autopsy showed no drugs in his system, and certain kinds of drugs can stay in your system for a very long time. She says, because he wasn't an addict, but she was. Again, she's saying she's a drug addict. Where's the proof of that? You met my ex-husband. He had a girlfriend 4 weeks after his second wife died. See, people do crazy things. People do absolutely crazy things. And now here's another one. Forever 40. Oh, so she's sharing this. Let's remember Stephen for the light he was. Let's remember he was loved by his family more than anything, and he'd be devastated by what has been done to him by Allison Holker. He would be devastated. Okay. So on this one, she says, Stephen Boss loved his mum more than anything in the world. His bond to her and his brothers was evident and obvious to anyone that knew her, knew him, and to his fans that followed him. Today, his mum and brothers have been completely shut out of their lives of the children after his death. Allison Holker forced her mother-in-law to sign an NDA in order to see her son and attend his funeral. The same NDA was given to all of Stephen's family and friends. Allison claimed the NDA was necessary to protect Stephen's legacy. However, family and friends that have spoken to me believe Allison didn't want them to share any negative details about Allison and Stephen's marriage. According to Nelson Diaz, Stephen's best friend and manager, Allison and Stephen alleged had a huge fight on their 9th anniversary, which was 2 days before Stephen died. After years of fighting, Stephen allegedly wanted out of his marriage. When Stephen left the house and went missing, Allison didn't look for him for more than a day. Police questioned about the marriage, and if they fought, she denied that they'd fought days before. Numerous friends and family have also alleged that Stephen and Allison fought over the future direction of the family. After years in the spotlight, Stephen allegedly wanted to scale back and have more of a private life. His friends claim he didn't enjoy the fakeness of social media. Sources also allege that they fought over money. Stephen allegedly refused to give Allison access to the accounts, and instead he partnered with his brother. Dre. Well, when Stephen died, Allison immediately saw access to the business accounts and bought a $5 million home. Allison dropped Stephen's last name from her socials 48 hours after he died, took her ring off after 2 months. She quickly moved on and began dating. Now her book seeks to tarnish his legacy through false allegations after silencing his family and friends through an NDA. And so now they want to do an investigate Allison Holker hashtag Justice for Stephen. Again, you're getting deja vu. Because I'm sort of getting similar vibes here. So apparently now she dated. Stephen Boss was a friend to everyone, and one of his friends was retired NFL linebacker Emmanuel Arto. Allison Holker secretly began in December 2022. When Stephen died, Emmanuel shared a tribute to Stephen on social media, writing, "You'll be missed, my brother." Should be my brother. You'll be missed. Thanks for laughing and smiling with me. In October 2023, 10 months after Stephen's death, Allison attended a party for Chelsea Handler. She raised eyebrows when she was snapped in a photo with Chelsea, Emmanuel, and her daughter. By spring of 2024, Allison was spotted in Monaco holding hands with Emmanuel while leaving a luxury hotel. Video of their hookup was shared on an Instagram page, which seemed to gloss over the significance of their appearance in the video. Look, I have two conflicting thoughts here because he passed away. And you have to, at some point in time, move on. Now, whether I personally could do it, I don't know. But I don't know. Does it matter that she, what are you supposed to do? As I said, there is no timeline as to how you are supposed to handle grief or how long you're supposed to grieve for. Some people move on very quickly. Some people take a very long time. There's no timeline. There's no time frame. There's no rule. And it says, friends of Allison and Stephen left comments on the post. One of the friends claimed that she had called out Allison for dating a male. The friend then alleged that Allison blocked her. Allison never went public with this relationship, but comments left on Instagram allude to the fact that she may have been cheating on Stephen with Emmanuel. Again, May. In fall 2024, Allison went public with her new boyfriend. She now claims that her boyfriend is the love of her life. What she won't share is that he's likely her second boyfriend since Stephen's death. Either way, Stephen's friends weren't happy with her dating Emmanuel because of his friendship with Stephen. Seriously? Bo says, didn't KJ once a time bash Twitch for working for Ellen DeGeneres for so long, claiming he had to know how cruel she was, therefore supported her? Yes, she did. Without the lawyer says she had no clue because Toad may have moved out a year ago and she hasn't noticed yet. That's true. That could have happened. And then here we go. And now this is where we're talking about the public record. About how no court record will go on. She was arrested for public intoxication and disorderly conduct in 2018. Yes, she was arrested. She was never found. The charges were dropped. So, anyway, Allison Holker recently accused her late husband, Stephen Boss, of being a drug addict. In an interview with People magazine, Allison described finding a cornucopia of drugs in a shoebox in their closet. Stephen Boss's autopsy showed no drugs or alcohol were in his system at the time of his death. His family and friends have refuted the claims, and several have pointed the finger back at Allison. Again, if she's a truth seeker, why isn't she giving, to be a journalist, you need to give a balanced view. But we're hearing it all from the side that Allison's in the wrong. With that, lawyer says LO KJ was arrested and charged with DUI in LA too. 20. Yeah. Well, she's forgotten to mention that. But hers doesn't count. Remember, hers doesn't count. Several friends have accused Ellison of having a drug problem and putting stuff up her nose. While there are no arrests for drugs, Ellison was arrested in 2018 in Salt Lake City, Utah for public intoxication and disorderly conduct in Salt Lake City Airport. So we're talking a while ago. According to the criminal complaint, Ellison was arrested, and the complaint states on or about. Oh, there's I think she's got the there you go. There's the charges. And it's a Class C misdemeanor. And threatening breach of the peace on a bus. Bail is set at $340. So there you go. So she's gone anyway. So on or about the 14th of September 2018, in that the defendant was under the influence of alcohol, a controlled substance, or any substance having the property of releasing toxic vapors, to the degree that the person may have endangered himself or another in a public place or private place where the person unreasonably disturbed others. She was also charged with disorderly conduct for failing to comply with orders of law enforcement officer. Both charges were Class C misdemeanors. In October 2018, an arrest warrant was issued for Ellison Holker in Salt Lake County after she failed to appear on the citation. Ellison was never arrested on the failure to appear warrant. By 2021, the county recalled the warrant and closed the case for failing to prosecute the case after no arrest was made. Ellison was able to get out of the charge by not responding and avoiding the warrant. Prior to 2018 arrest, Ellison Holker pled guilty in 2007 to a misdemeanor charge of minor consumption. A search of court records for Stephen Boss shows no arrests or citations for drugs or alcohol. His record was completely clear at the time of his death. Ellison grew up in Utah in a large family that was part of the Mormon church. She's no longer practicing Mormon. Is Ellison projecting her own issues onto Stephen Boss? Sound off below. Then someone says, question for you. Is she in the dance cult? I remember she hearted one of the dancers. Hang on. Where is it? Where was it? Where did it go? Anyway, so now they're trying to link her to 7M. Oh, yeah. She heard one of the dancers was her name. Miranda posts right after your documentary came out, and wasn't she photographed on a red carpet with them? So there you go. Now, Ellison Holker's BR team came up with a response to the backlash. Without a lawyer says, I'm glad I am in Australia. This woman is relentless in finding police records, although I could gladly show mine because mine is clear. So is mine without a lawyer. She'd find it rather boring. Mine would be rather boring. But yes, I am so glad that our court records are actually protected, that you cannot do any of that. So in typical fashion, her response misses the point. She ignores the NDA's annihilation of the children, that her book is based upon her ego and needs to destroy his legacy. Publishing his private journals helps no one. Telling secrets that he never even told his wife in a book. I hope every future man of Ellison pays attention. Your information is for sale. She's cancelled. Again, are these facts or opinions? So to say, I hope every man of Ellison's pays attention, is that a threat? Is that a malicious comment? Now, remember, Katie's going hard for the fact that she's not letting his parents see the children. Who else do you know that is, who else do you know that won't let grandparents see a grandchild? Your information is for sale. Just ask me the price. These sorts of comments, they're not reporting. You're right, Plan to Create. They're not reports. It's not reporting. It's and again, it's very biased. You can see the motive behind it. So let's have a look at these. Yeah, she's got here. She could have stayed quiet. Now our team has promised to help spread the word. We stand with the Boss family. So now she's saying that she's got a team. She could have stayed quiet, but now our team has promised to help spread the word. We stand with the Boss family. Who else did Katie promise something to? Thank you for speaking up for Stephen. He should be remembered for the light and joy that he brought to the world, she says here. Stephen's longtime friend speaks out for his friend Stephen. How dare you do this to sell a book? You don't really know me because you always refuse to acknowledge me the few times I was around you with him, but I am an old friend of Stephen's. Yeah. We've heard about her teams before. Here we go again. That's right. Here we go again. Mamma mia. Here we go again. Mama. I remember when I fell in love with you. I remember when he fell in love with you, he was giddy over you. He would never do this to you if the shoe was on the other foot. He hated all the things you have become, the spotlight, the limelight, the attention you seek. Who does any of this serve? Not Stephen, not his memory. It definitely doesn't serve his children or his family. You've become the definition of what he didn't want to be. Shame on you. Because apparently she did a story on People magazine. She did a story, an interview with People. He was so talented, the world lost a bright light, she says. And again, she was criticizing him before. So again, we've had another backflip. Shell's hightail appeared on there, so you think you... Well, we need to go back. So you think with Stephen and was friends with Alison and Stephen. She's now speaking out against Alison in support of Stephen. Thank you for defending his legacy. I've known Alison since I was an early teen, and seeing her choose to share such deeply personal details about Twitch's struggles feels so disappointing and inappropriate. Twitch was an incredibly kind and loving man who always looked out for others, making everyone feel included and valued, myself included. He deserves to be remembered for the light he brought into the world, not reduce the struggles. R.I. Actual peace. You are missed and loved by many. The Voss, the Petrie, the Wilkins, and it goes on and on. Yeah. Let's remember Stephen for the light he was. Let's remember that he loved his family more than anything, and he would be devastated by what has been done to them by Alison Holker. As I said, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, and I can't speak. I cannot speak. I don't think anyone can speak to how somebody else would be feeling about a certain situation. I can't say how I would be. I mean, does anyone? And remember, he kept secrets from people. So how would you know? How can anyone say what he was thinking? I sure hope none of Alison's friends end up on this with their secrets out encountered all over the world or have a journal she's aware of. You all are supporting her when in reality she's literally swiping dignity from a man that is deceased. So this was an article. And someone says, thank you for your openness, truth, and realness. Mental health matters. The thing is by talking about someone's mental health, that helps somebody get help. So this is, thank you for being a voice to your friend. She did not hate him, but she did hate how much the world loved him as it took shine away from her. If you listen to her interview, you can hear this in her statements, tone, and delivery. Jealousy still lives on posthumously. Miss you, brother, and finally happy that others are speaking up and defending you. Sending love, light, and an envelope of protection energy to his kids. I hope they never see this vitriol she's spilling out about their amazing father. Without a lawyer, I think at this time it's important to remember that Russia is not China. Yes. Please read this whole post, she says. So there's been lots of allegations, and I'm trying to as I do, I try to look at it from both people's perspective, because I'm not there. I would have to really look at, you interview both sides, and should she have released the journal or published the journal? Probably not. But if they are his words and he's talking about some struggles, how then can you say that she's lying? I just don't know. Stephen's death is a devastating and unresolved tragedy. The man I knew had plans for his life, plans filled with hope and a purpose that did not align with what was being portrayed. Something about all of this has felt very often from the beginning. If you've never had that same feeling, you're not alone. Stephen was a beautiful soul, but when it was trapped in a facade, and now in hindsight, it's painfully clear he was living with the enemy. I mean, as Without a Lawyer said, there was, you sometimes can live with somebody, think you know somebody, and you discover that you don't actually know who they really are. People can hide their true self. A whole mess is starting when a profile is made to expose Allison enters the chat. Cancel Alison Holker and says, we are ready to help boycott this book and spread the truth and kind, loving a beacon of light Stephen was. So again, where she's now promoting cancelling somebody. And now she's saying, to think Alison treats this woman like trash and won't let her see her grandchildren. Does that mean all of this was fake, guessing by her fake smile and trying to take over the camera? That's a yes. And again, we don't know what's happened for the relationship to break down between her and her in-laws. So this is, again, there's no arrest for Stephen Boss for drugs or alcohol because she's checked. The charges were later dismissed. So if the charges were dismissed, then she's not guilty of anything. So if Ellen comes out and supports Twitch, will she now support Ellen? Interesting. That's a very good question. See, she was arrested in 2007, people. We're going back to 2007. Yeah, 2007. So I would think I would be a vastly different person then to what I am now. What is that, 18 years? Completely different person. Oh, and that's the same time KJ was arrested. I wonder if they did share a cell. Nice. Remember, it's okay for her to share them. This comment section needs attention. If you love Stephen, sound off and let them know. Yes, how that you say it. She's now friends with dancers in the cult, still despite the allegations of alleged trafficking. Now she's against Robert Shin in a lawsuit in Los Angeles. OMG, and isn't that lady part of the TikTok dance cult? But 7M doesn't exist anymore, and they've all left 7M. So how can she be friends with dancers in the alleged cult if the alleged cult, meaning 7M, no longer exists? To all my friends in LA, please stay safe. I'm thinking of you as you deal with these horrific wildfires, she says. Hello, Renelle. So now we're back to 2018. More friends speak out. Someone wrote, we tolerated you because we loved him. We bit our tongues, ignored our gut instincts because we loved him. We believed in you only because he did. We watched you become everything he never wanted to be, realizing that we failed to help him while he was still with us. And now we will protect his legacy at all costs. The love he poured into us will always shine brighter than the darkness you are trying to exploit for your own personal gain. As a wife, as a mother, as a friend, shame on you, Alison Holger. All right. Oh, now she's putting some sister wives goss. Something magazine slams Alison Holker and praises Steve Boss. Beautifully said, she said. I mean, the way that she carries on, though, it's like that Stephen Boss was her best friend, that she was besties with the way she's acting is like she was best friends with Twitch. You made his mama sign an NDA to see his body, apparently, allegedly. Says photo by Katie Paulson on the 8th of January, maybe an image posted across the word and or a donut. That didn't work. Your legacy will never be tarnished. We know the truth of who you were. Long live Twitch. Keep it going, she's saying. So now she's praising those who cancel someone. So they're like interference with, yes, business interference, correct. Yeah. And and she's going hard. You continue to perpetrate false narrative. You should fire your publicist and whoever helped you write this, by the way. You act like you were so blind when you orchestrated so much. I don't have a thing to say. Others are doing God's work because Stephen was and is an anointed one. Anyone who supports her is trash and reads this from her and doesn't see the blatant facade and grasp for some sort of resolution to this dumpster fire she brought on herself. Well, I pity you. Stephen deserves better, period. It's not your story to tell. And Something Communicate knows this. He was an adult with private thoughts in his private journal. It is not your place to expose it since he was an adult and all classless to monetize it. Are you donating all the money to charity? We know the answer to this. Was he writing about, I know he wasn't writing about Katie Joy there, but was he writing about Katie Joy there? Oh, so erasing people from her life is her MO. So let's be clear, he has 2 children. Wesley's not his. Don't respect her real father who is still alive. The audacity to erase him, and he's still alive. Once again, utilizing a narrative to benefit you. Even in your video, you say my children, as if even posthumously Stephen isn't Zaya and Max's father. I would say I'm shocked, but you and I both know the real you. You don't want this smoke. Now, I understand if you're the father of your children are no longer with you, you would say my children. You wouldn't say our children. I'm divorced, and I'd always say my children. I would never say mine and my ex's children. I would always just say my children. Does that mean that I'm a bad person? I still now talk about them as being my children because they're my children. Hey, Alison, something rumor on the gram is that you showed up super drunk for a live episode, so you think you can dance, and during the commercial breaks, people say you were brilliantly yelling Stephen's name, causing a huge scene. Then at the rap party, you got wasted, you took a nap on the floor, and Stephen had to pick you off the middle of the floor to leave, which led to considerable embarrassment for him. Apparently, your former cast members have a lot of stories like this and claim it was all your alcoholism that was a huge problem in the marriage. All alleged for information and educational purposes. Don't sue me. I don't have an NDA. Seriously, that to me, that is malicious. That's a very malicious comment, in my opinion. Rest in peace, Stephen. Narcissistic abuse puts victims at risk of S. She says. Okay. And then she's got, Alison, why are you applying for trademarks in 2023 using Stephen's name, knowing he's deceased? It's illegal to use names of the deceased in this matter. You even claimed he lived in the same house as you in October 2023. Can you help us here? Abandoned because there's no statement. Pick me. I have a story about KJ going to have a pee live on stream 2 times if we TikTok me. Oh, that's funny. Oh dear. In fact, that date says status date 2024. Publication date. Abandonment date, yeah. Don't you think if she was acting like that, she would find? I would have thought so, though. I would have thought so. And we would have heard about it long before now. Do you really think the tabloids would have kept quiet about it? And here she's doing it again. I was there for the first one. That absolutely happened. Shame on you, Alison Holker. So she's talking about how he was hiding a lot of stuff. Is it any different to Robin Williams' widow coming out and talking about the stuff that she found out after he'd passed? We know a lot more of some of the demons that he was battling because his wife's spoken about it. Oh, geez, there is no tax-exempt nonprofit with the name Move On With Kindness registered to the IRS. So now she's checking tax records. Alison, where are the proceeds of your book going? Move With Kindness does not exist in the state of California, nor with the IRS. Uh-oh. We love you, Twitch. We miss your positive energy. But as I said, I thought she didn't like Twitch. Thanks for standing up. So someone has tagged her and says, thanks for standing up for Twitch without a crystal ball. So there you go. They'll learn. Move with Connie. If you'd like to make a donation in honor of Stephen, Twitch boss, support mental health initiatives, we invite you to do so here. We appreciate the support of this foundation that was created in his honor and as a lasting part of his legacy. Oh, you mean this organized non-profit set up through an umbrella non-profit management group? So really, what is your organization actually doing? So now she's accusing them of fraud. So it says, photo by Katie, maybe a Twitter screenshot or text that says, whoopsie, Alison, did you ruin someone else's wedding and also embarrass your husband? Vomiting all over the place at a wedding and forcing Stephen to leave early. Those glass houses area be pirated. She got so wasted at ours, me and Nelson's wedding. Stephen was the best man and she was his +1. That she vomited everywhere. She was an absolute sloppy mess. Stephen had to leave the wedding to take her home. Someone getting drunk at a wedding could have been registered outside California to avoid taxes. That's what a lot of companies do, says Bo. Well, but the thing is, Katie says that it's not registered. Seen so many people that I know evacuating their homes in LA. Please stay safe. I wonder how many people she knows. Then she's on to about the arrests. And there's no arrest for Stephen Boss for drugs or alcohol. Could he have could there be an alias? I don't know. I'm just throwing grenades out there. So does this have some Deja Vu vibes to it? Because I'm sort of getting Deja Vu, Twilight Zone type vibes in myself. I'm going to use and I hope she's okay with it, but I am going to and I'm going to give her the credit to it. But I think KJ is on. She is on loop. But the thing is, it's the same. She does the same accusations to everyone. I'm going to use Detective KJ, the picture that Ms Ballz used. I'm going to use that on my as my thumbnail because I thought it was pretty cool. But it is so sad that it's a repeat. Well, then I've got to ask: has she learned anything? Has she learned anything at all? Because you would wonder. So, is this the result of her also venting over where she's with the lawsuit? Yeah. There you go. I've actually just changed the thumbnail now to Ms Ballz's photo. Detective Paulson on duty. We probably need to as I said, I don't know anything about this story. Let's have a look, see if I can find it. This was 2020 when she was snooping Tardy's background when Todd Chrisley and then Browns and the McCoys. Yes, that's right. So there's lots of stuff about. So this is an Australian public. We're going to go to an Australian publication and see what they've got. Because let's see what they've got to say. So this is a thing called mamamia.com.au. It was written by someone called Katie Powers. So she was planning her late husband Twitch's funeral when she found a shoebox. Yeah, okay. So it says 3 days before his death was celebrating the white wedding anniversary. She had no idea he was struggling. She was left heartbroken by her death. In the days that followed, with unanswered questions. Accompanied by a friend, she began to clear out their wardrobe to find clothes for Boss to be buried in. It was when she made an alarming discovery. Hidden inside her late husband's shoebox was a cornucopia of drugs, mushrooms, pills, and other substances that were foreign to Holker. This was really a triggering moment for me because there were lots of things I discovered in our closet I did not know existed. And but it's a release of her memoir this far. It was very alarming to me that there was so much happening that I had no clue about. It was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out. But it also helped me process that he was going through so much. He was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. As for his drug use, Holker was aware that Boss would smoke marijuana and drink after the kids went to bed. But it wasn't until she read his journals for clarity that she discovered the extent of his demons. He was wrestling with a lot inside himself. He was trying to self-medicate and cope with those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone because he loved everyone so much, she said of Boss, who in some journal entries alluded to experiencing childhood SA by a male figure in his life. He didn't want people to take on his pain. So Boss is best known for starring on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. And it goes in some history there. So it says they had 3 children together. He adopted Holker's daughter from a previous relationship and then welcomed 2 children. So if I am looking at, I can relate. I had to clear out my ex's stuff, and it surprised me what I found as I never went through his stuff before. So without a lawyer, you are actually understanding some of this stuff from the perspective of somebody not knowing. So this was the article, I think, but so far what I've read, I've not seen anything alarming. Like, I haven't read the book, but from what the reports are, so she's saying that she found stuff in the closet. So she said that she believed they had very honest communication about his marijuana use, and he would slip into to smoke or drink. This was his alone time. It was his recharge. While she felt betrayed by his secrets, Holker also gained a new outlook over time. Reading Stephen journals and even going back into the books he had read and the things that he was highlighting and lining really gave me a better perspective of where he was in life and the types of things he was struggling with, she says. It did have me feel a lot of empathy towards him and sadness for the pain he was going through. She underscores now that she's sharing Boss's struggles and the aftermath of his death in the hopes of saving even just one person who's struggling in silence. So this is what she's getting criticized for. It's really hard to put all the pieces together. Those certain discussions, even with friends and things that have been said, reading through his journals, you realize he went through a lot as a child and never faced it. It's hard to think that he never opened up to someone and wanted to face it, to get through the other side. I really hope people dealing with the same thing will help themselves out of the shadows and know you're going to be okay. Well, what someone projects to family and the public can be very different to what's happening to them personally, says without a law. Well, that's right. A lot of times when people unalive themselves, though, the family will go, well, we never knew, because they're always really happy. And look, Robin Williams was the classic example. One of the funniest men on the earth had some very deep, dark secrets that he was keeping about his struggles. Well, Boss, who was acting withdrawn, showering less frequency and smoking morning and night, acknowledged to her he was going through a low period. He was careful about the wording, she recalls. Yes, that is a sign of depression, usually. At the time, he was closing out 8 years on Ellen DeGeneres, while ending the run as a judge on You Think You Can Dance. Still, we are getting ready for this big year, she says. It seemed like, he's taken a restful period, which he said he never had. In hindsight, she believes he was dealing deeply dealing with the chasm between the extroverted Twitch, his beloved public persona, and the introverted Stephen, a man who yearned to be the perfect husband and dad to their 3 kids. When I would think about my husband at the time, I would think, oh, I love that Twitch is such a great performer. But when he comes home, he feels safe enough to be Stephen. She says, I was with him for so long, and that's how he's been the entire relationship. I was like, it's beautiful how he can be both. Looking back, she realizes his 2 different personalities were increasingly battling each other. While he felt safe being this one individual that has completely different energies, she now wonders, you don't have to become a completely different person and put them aside from each other. The morning before he went missing, Boss dropped Wesley off at school. She was the last person in the family to see him alive, and his final words were to her, I wish I could be your Superman. Having someone say last words to you that you didn't really process at the time as being anything wrong, that's really hard, especially as a teenager. She handles it with far more grace than she should have to. We took steps to help her and communicate with her to make her feel seen and heard. I think she also sees those words as something beautiful and also ugly. It's a battle that she's going to have. Feeling the full range of emotions and knowing that's okay is what Holker hopes others take away from her new book. From what I'm reading from this article, what is wrong in this article? So she said that she's had help from the National Alliance of Mental Health and Maple Counselling. It's important to be an open vessel to them when they're going through it. Listen and allow them space to be who they want to be. People that have a lot of light, they still have gone through a lot of dark, and that's okay because you can't have one without the other. So it says, in hindsight, looking back, yes, she can see it, but at the time, I'm quite sure she wasn't thinking to the extent he was. Probably never crossed her mind, but unless you've been there, don't chastise her. You probably wouldn't have known it was a clue either. Usually, just before someone is about to take their own life, they usually don't give that impression. So when it happens, everyone is shocked. Growing up, my neighbour across the street, his dad unalived himself, and you never would have thought that he was in that mode. I could have written this book I took on. Well, I'm sort of feeling that she feels a bit guilty. So it's interesting because, so she's getting criticized. So this is her book here. As I said, I'm not in this candid emotional memoir. Alison opens up about her incredible dance career, her relationship with Stephen Twitch Boss, and the resilience that's carried forward after his death. Alison Holker was just 18 when she found fame as a contestant on the reality show So You Think You Can Dance. Over the next several years, she had her first child, built a successful career as a professional dancer, despite the industry being hostile to working mums, and fell in love and married fellow dancer Stephen Boss, the former hype man and DJ of the Ellen DeGeneres show, known for his charisma and relentless positivity. 2 more children and a wealth of professional opportunities for both Alison and Stephen followed, and the Bosses appeared to be one of the great Hollywood love stories. Then December 2022, Stephen took his own life, leaving Alison to wrestle with the unanswered questions, the haunting what ifs, and heartbreaking realization that Stephen's infectious joy was hiding pain, addictions, and self-doubt deeper than anyone knew. For the first time, Alison reveals how she has navigated the emotional and financial aftermath of Stephen's choice, guided their 3 children in their grief while managing the outpouring from a well-meaning public, and reopened herself to the next chapter in her professional and personal life. A beacon of hope and a comfort for anyone experiencing grief, especially unexpected loss due to unaliving. Alison's story is an honest reflection on the pain of looking back on a complicated life and the resilience required to move on in the future. I can see that maybe she has emphasized the drug usage as it puts the blame on the drugs, on the drugs, not him. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think that's And also, I mean, don't forget, he could have been SA'd as a child and not told anybody, and the family's shocked. Oh, hello, Joanne. KJ never feels guilty. No. She says. So, as I said, that people, I have to say, I did not actually think that there was anything wrong in that article. Then I'm a person that is understanding it from both sides. I'm trying to understand it from both sides. As I said, if his story and his struggles help one person, then isn't that what it's all about? If by reading her book, somebody says, well, my friend's, not showering a lot or is sleeping a lot or is doing this, maybe I need to have a conversation with them. And if that saves one person's life, is that a bad thing? And don't forget, everyone's talking about the money she's making. She's got children to support as well. Don't forget that. So, I mean, and without having seen the book, I don't know whether she talks about feeling guilty for not seeing it. It's just really, really weird. And don't forget, when Robin Williams passed away, we found out that he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Should the public have known that? Quentin, mental health first aider, it is okay to ask someone if they feel like unaliving. It is an important question. There is actually a case study. I just have looked it up here. Robin Williams, a case study. Yes. Williams was suffering from severe depression. And they've also said marital problems as well. But there you go. There are 10 to 20 million non-fatal attempts every year. So apparently being diagnosed with Parkinson-like symptoms, these symptoms triggered his anxiety, restlessness, and possible sleep talking, which forced him to sleep in a different room from his wife. If you remember that. They confirmed antidepressants, caffeine, and levodopa in his system, but therapeutic dose levels, which indicated he did not deliberately overdose. And it also had paranoia and hallucinations. His activities include placing some wristwatches in a sock and dropping them off to keep them safe. So he had some really bizarre behavior. On the night before, he called his wife to tell her that he was buying magazines for her at a bookstore. He returned home fine and handed the magazines to her. He then spent some time searching through their closet, grabbed his iPad and left the room at 10:30, which is when his wife saw him last. She left the house the next morning, assuming he was still sleeping. And that was his sister. So again, I mean, you would say, well, she didn't notice that she just went about her day. And it was the assistant that found him. So I'm sorry if this is actually triggering too. See, William's wife said that before he was sober and that he'd been diagnosed with early stage Parkinson, which was something he was not ready to share publicly. The actor was indeed suffering from major depression, substance abuse, including alcohol, relationship troubles, financial problems, and newly diagnosed Lewy body dementia. All these problems, except the Lewy body dementia, have been described as risk factors. So there we go. Depression affects 16 million people in the US, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, and 350 million globally, according to the World Health Organization. It is therefore recommended that patients, physicians should not take the risk factors lightly, but should take appropriate measures and symptoms. Yeah. So there's just an example, but as we said, Robin Williams was, one of the funniest men. He had some very dark parts. Oh yes, here we go. Here's another one that she did. People make that choice. There's this one. This is a threat. No matter what Allison tries to do to tarnish Stephen's legacy, we know his legacy can never be tarnished because everyone that knew him loved him and he dedicated his life to making people happy. How does she know this? Allison, keep running your mouth because I have tons of contacts in the industry. And let's just say most people in the dance industry are done with you for what you've done to Stephen. Is that a threat? She didn't make him. What did she do? What did she do to him? It's making it sound like that she was the reason why he did what he did. And I didn't see anything in that article that tarnished the article that we just looked at from People. There's nothing in there that I saw tarnished his image. She talked about the struggles of finding out that the person that he loved was struggling and not knowing about it. Yeah, but in all of this has been proven that has it been proven that Alice, well, that's again, that is what got her in trouble with 7M, and that's why she's gone through a 7M lawsuit, because she gave the impression that they were doing all the, the waterboarding, the trafficking, and all of that sort of stuff. Now she's saying that Allison's the reason why he unalived himself. Unless he left a note that said you are the reason, then we don't really know. But I come back to the question, what did she do to him? What has she done to him? I am not saying that if you were going to report on this, you need to make sure that it's fair and balanced. That People magazine was fair and balanced. Nowhere did it say anything. It would just talk about the struggle. And why can't she talk about having to raise 3 children on her own? So, look, at the end of the day, you're not responsible. Anyway, oh yeah, here we go. This is from EKC, and she's right. She's hit the nail on the head on here. Step 1: blame them for everything and accuse of murder. Step 2: do a complete 180 and attack all who say things you said first. 3: make it about you. Is this drama crate all over again? Katie, do a complete switch and then be here for Alison. So then it says, the entire situation makes no sense. There is no footage of her at the hotel, but his friends claim that Stephen had her gun, and it was her gun that unalived him. So now he had her firearm. Does she think she has a hook for a 7M case to go away? Well, she has linked them, remember? She's linked them. So it's bizarre. So what are your thoughts on all of this? I'm finding it absolutely bizarre. But as I said, she's leaving. She's not mentioning. She's not mentioned Gypsy then. She's not mentioned Gypsy since she started on this. So, well, I have a one up because my kids talk to me. I will get to meet my grandbaby this weekend to go meet. Well, that's right. But it's funny when she criticizes everybody from not having their kids, cutting their kids off to their parents, because she doesn't, her son doesn't talk to her parents or family. So anyway, all right, on that note, I'm going to head off. I'm going to go to bed now. I looked at the time. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's way past my bedtime. So thank you for watching. I will, I don't know, probably be back again. I mean, for those of you that fly to buy a couple of new planners, I might film now that I've got some time. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're on baby watch. We're going to be on baby watch with our lawyer. And hopefully there's a nice, healthy baby tomorrow. That's what we want. Yeah. But yes, replay crew, make sure you tell me below what you think. I think it's Deja Vu. Deja Vu. And have we seen this behavior before? And finally, do you think there could be a lawsuit out of this? Could she get sued again? interesting. Anyway, I'm interested. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below or in the chat as we're finishing up. But I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.